Hi everyone, it's me, Moonlight Guidance. We are going to be doing a reading to see what is coming through for you, and this is a very, very safe space where you are always very welcome. And I'm going to do a tarot reading to see what messages you have, and if you are here, I feel like there are messages for you. So we will take a look into it all and see exactly what is coming through and what I need to tell you specifically. Okay, so let's have a look and see. And yeah. Chariot with the Five of Swords. A lot of very emotional things are happening and have been happening for you. It's been really overwhelming and stressful. I feel here that there has been gossip, drama, or just really sad events that have been taking place in your life. And the Chariot shows emotional energy, right? That has just been coming towards you. And the nature of this emotional energy has been characterized and defined by these two fives, okay? So Five of Swords, Five of Pentacles, challenges, obstacles, and also people just not being right towards you, making you feel very alone, making you feel very sad, making you feel very frustrated, making you just feel not good. And that's what I see here characterized by both of these energies. Just this sense of like not feeling good, not feeling happy, not feeling satisfied. And so that's what I really do see here, and it has been rather overwhelming and stressful. And so this is really what I am picking up on here, where you have just felt not like yourself. And I feel here that you have been sort of absorbing a lot of that, because naturally, if someone says something to you or they say something behind your back and you just feel not good, then of course you're going to think about it, right? It's only like, oh gosh, it's only human nature that a person is going to think about something when they hear that someone has said something about them, and they'll think like, oh my God, like, did they say that? Like, why did they say that? What did they say that for? And you sort of then carry that with you and think to yourself like, oh my God, like, how do they now view me? Like, and it's almost a sense here of you've sort of like absorbed some of this energy that people are sort of saying behind your back, or maybe even saying to you, and it changes your perception or perspective about yourself, because naturally you are more empathic. You like to think about how you make people feel. And if you feel like you've hurt someone, you feel really awful about it. And you try to figure out like, oh my God, like, how did that happen? So I just feel here that it's really important to understand that people have their own perspectives, they have their own perceptions. I feel like because you're such an empathic and caring person, you always try to make things right with people, which means that even if you've done something or said something, you always go out of your way to fix things, right? But it's also showing here, interestingly enough, with the fives, that don't worry, these moments will shift. Like, these people will not always be like this. And we've got another five as well. This like never happened before where we've got so many fives, but here we go. Five of Wands as well, is that you then sort of let it emotionally take over you. So then you start to feel like, oh my God, I must be a really terrible person, like now nobody likes me. You then feel really down, and instead of uplifting your energy and thinking to yourself, you know what, this is their problem and this is them thinking this about me, when it's so not true, instead of you uplifting yourself, you start to go into this sort of more emotionally damaging direction where you blame yourself. You feel unworthy, you feel unattractive, you feel sad, you feel frustrated, you feel like you're just not a good person. You start to really damage yourself in a way, because you're absorbing all of that energy. You're not kind of like reflecting on it and then sort of being like, well, that's their perspective. I did my very best in that situation. And when there are moments where you have to apologize, right? But in certain moments where you don't actually have to apologize, you absorb it so much to the point where you actually don't feel like yourself, and you feel like you need to change your character, which is not true, okay? This is their perspective. This is how they are. A lot of these people that you've been dealing with have a mentality of always blaming everyone else. And when everyone else is to blame, they're never wrong, right? Whereas you are the kind of person that when you're wrong. That's the thing. When you are wrong. When things are constructive in terms of criticism. When someone is saying something in a way to sort of like tell you that maybe they didn't like something you did. When you are wrong, and when there are things you can improve. But also when you are like not wrong in situations, you feel like it's still your responsibility, and that's where we have to draw a line, okay? That is where you have to be able to let go. Do not absorb. Observe, but do not absorb. I'm not saying that you should emotionally suppress things, okay, at all. It's about observing it, but then also realizing, wait a second, that's their perspective. I did what I could in this situation and I did the best of my ability. I'm not a rude, mean person. That's their perspective. And then to let it go. You know, this is so, so important. Otherwise, you are absorbing all of that energy and it is dragging you down. Oh God, I just like hit my hand on the table and I was like, oh. And then you know, otherwise what happens is that the more you absorb all of this energy and you start to believe everything that everybody says about you like that, with those negative energy, you will only feel more negative. You will only feel more emotionally down. It brings your energy down. It brings you down. It literally frustrates you, upsets you, aggravates you, annoys you in a way that it shouldn't, right? But it does. And you have to put in that balance in your life, which is just so, so important. So, very important, okay? Observe, but don't absorb. And there is a way in which you cannot absorb things, okay? So I will tell you that in a minute. Basically, if this resonates with you so far, comment down below. I observe, not absorb. Comment it down below. That's the affirmation for your reading. And don't forget to like and subscribe if the reading resonates with you as well. But we have got here the Page of Swords. Hanged Man. Two of Wands, okay? So it really goes to show here as well, detachment is absolutely your key. I know I bang on about this all the flipping time, but truly, like, there are two things that you can do. First and foremost, protection ritual helps you a lot so that you are not absorbing any kind of energy from anyone in this regard. And the second thing is the detachment ritual, okay? So detachment as a whole can be practiced in your life, but if you really struggle with it, that's when, you know, the ritual can really help you. If you struggle with pulling back energy towards yourself, letting things go, you know, having one thing go in one ear and out the other, but instead you find it goes in one ear and it stays in your head, then the detachment ritual can really, really help you. It basically allows you to pull more energy towards yourself, to be able to let go of things, okay? And to also be able to have your manifestations come into order, because the law of attraction means knowing what you want and then being okay without it. It's essentially about being detached from circumstances and not so heavily attached to the point where it emotionally consumes you, overwhelms you, and frustrates you. Okay, so that's one thing. And then the other, of course, is the protection ritual. It protects you from black magic, hexes, curses, evil eye, negative energies like this, and absorbing other people's energies. That's also why a lot of people also say, don't shake the hand of every single person you meet. Hands also hold energy as well. I'm not saying don't shake anybody's hands, but be a bit more sort of careful as to how many people's hands you are touching, how many people you are, you know, just in general touching as well. You want to make sure that you are protected before you're really kind of like going in and sort of like being around so many people. This is so, so important, okay? So yeah, if ever you're interested in any personal readings, you know, services, rituals, things like that, everything's always listed down below on shopmoonlightguidance.com. I offer readings to answer questions you have. There's of course the rituals, like I mentioned. The rituals work on healing your energy so that your intention takes place, and there's thousands of 5-star reviews even on the intention items such as bracelets, necklaces, anklets, pom-poms, tassels, candles, sage bundles, teas, and so much more. And yeah, it's all down below and on shopmoonlightguidance.com. But basically, observe. Hanged Man, right? Hanged Man observes, not really taking much action, but just sort of looking at things. Even with the Two of Wands, observe, okay? Don't absorb. Even if you see someone, you know, that needs help, I'm not saying don't help them, okay? Absolutely help people, but also at the same time, make sure that you are observing a situation to understand what's really going on as well, because sometimes people jump to conclusions in certain situations when they don't know the full story as well. So just in general in life as well, observing things before you react can be a very, very good thing, just to also assess yourself, assess other people, to kind of get an understanding of things rather than acting straight away from emotion, okay? Because a lot of people act straight away from emotion and then they regret the things that they do because they haven't observed with their intuition and sort of like try to intuitively act on things first, okay? Because emotion can override intuition. So that's why you want to observe and not necessarily absorb, but also observe and then act. And that I think is really, really significant here. So that is basically what I have for you. This is your reading. If this resonates, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Check out the description box below for information on personal services, readings, items, rituals. I also have TikTok and Instagram. TikTok is Moonlight Guidance. Instagram is moonlight.guidance. I post short readings on there every day. Feel free to check it out if you're interested, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.